Dear students, welcome to this lecture. Today, the topic for our deliberation is Challenge of Energy Security in South Asia. The objectives of this lecture are to understand the concept of energy security, to explore the overall scenario of energy security in South Asia, to know the challenge of energy security in India, to know the challenge of energy security in Pakistan, to understand how the South Asian states address the problem of energy security. Let's first understand the concept of energy security. To begin with, the concept of energy security is multidimensional and has different meanings for different stakeholders. Therefore, the definition of energy security varies from one country to another and depends upon the energy policy. According to some experts, energy security is the ability of an economy to guarantee the ability of energy resource supply in a sustainable and timely manner, with the energy price being at a level that will not adversely affect the economic performance of the economy. Others define it as a condition in which a nation and all or most of its citizens and businesses have access to sufficient energy resources at reasonable prices for the foreseeable future from serious risk of any major disruption. While experts of energy security focus on the energy policy and economic aspects of country, others focus on diversification. As a result, energy security is defined as a diversity or mix of fuel sources, stability and stable sources of reserve and technology. The International Atomic Energy defines it as a secure supply of energy fuels and technologies that promote self-sufficiency. Other experts focus on the environment when discussing about the issues and considers energy security to include stable, cheap and environmental friendly energy cycle, including primary suppliers, transportation, refining, transformation and final consumption. Dear students, let's see now the scenario of energy security in South Asia. On the basis of above definitions of the term energy security, in case of South Asia, is defined to include at least four elements: the availability of resources, the accessibility of resources, the affordability of resources, and the geopolitics of resources. Let me briefly summarize these four elements in South Asian perspective. Availability of resources will help us to understand the current energy scenario in all South Asian countries. Due to supply crunch prevailing in South Asian countries, there is a lack of domestic supply, causing almost all the countries to import fuel. Further, the dependence on very few countries to supply their energy mix is also worrying, as any supply disruption will have a very negative impact on the economy of these countries. Accessibility of resources is an important criteria, as all countries except Bhutan, as most of them have seen their resources deplete over the last 2 decades. Moreover, countries like Bangladesh and Pakistan have not been able to make any new oil and gas discoveries, resulting in each of these countries running out of gas between 10 to 12 years' time respectively. As a result, these countries need to get access to new resources. Further, a lack of proper energy infrastructure is also a drawback for all the countries in South Asia to access resources domestically and internationally. The South Asian countries are included in the list of rapidly growing and developing nations in the entire world. These are also considered to be center for rising middle-class population, which has observed major growth in the primary energy utilization by improving economic circumstances and an escalation per capita revenue. In 2017, the South Asian Association of Regional Cooperation, which consists of 8 nations, accounted for 4% of world's collective GDP with approximately 24% of world's residents. That is, more than 1.5 billion people are living in these countries. In terms of volume and mix, the primary energy consumption of South Asian countries changes substantially. Every nation in this region has different usage reliant on energy accessibility, economic and commercial feasibility. It's also estimated that trades of diesel-dependent vehicles have escalated from 4% to 11% in recent years. In fact, energy reserves in developing countries are declining fast. A severe consequence is caused by emissions and discharge found by the burning of petroleum-derived fuel, with its impact on both environment and human health. The region of South Asia is endowed with diverse, rich natural energy resources like coal, wind, thermal, water, gas, solar and geothermal. Dear students, let's first see the situation of energy security challenge experienced by India in last few decades. Energy security is a significant challenge for India given its growing population, rapid industrialization and increasing energy demand. Several key factors contribute to energy security challenge in India. For example, energy demand growth. India's energy demand is steadily increasing due to its economic growth, urbanization and rising living standards. Meeting this demand while ensuring a stable and reliable energy supply is a continuous challenge. Similarly, dependency on fossil fuels. India heavily relies on fossil fuels, particularly coal, for its energy needs. This dependence not only contributes to environmental issues like air pollution and greenhouse gas emissions, but also makes the country vulnerable to global energy fluctuations. Similarly, if you look at energy import dependency, India imports a significant portion of its oil and natural gas requirements. This reliance on imports can lead to supply disruption and price volatility affecting the country's energy security. Moreover, vulnerability to geopolitical factors. India's energy imports, especially oil, are susceptible to geopolitical tensions and disruptions in the global oil supply chain. Any disruption in the supply of these critical resources can have severe economic and strategic consequences. Apart from this, if you look at infrastructure challenge, the energy infrastructure in India faces challenges such as transmission and distribution losses, outdated grids and inadequate storage facilities. These issues can lead to energy wastage and supply instability. Additionally, there are environmental concerns. The environmental impact of India's energy sector is growing concern. Balancing energy security with environmental sustainability is a complex challenge as the country seeks to reduce emissions and transition towards cleaner energy sources. India has significant issues at its state level as any project requires the approval of both federal and state governments to proceed. As a result, the federal government is relying on state governments for the approval of pipelines and the electricity transmission projects that cut across the state boundaries, even though the federal government has the ultimate authority. Further, despite India's immediate need for electricity interconnections, the state government does not always authorize such projects. Moreover, the lack of any clear land titles in tribal, forested and other spatial areas has delayed numerous energy projects in the country, causing investors to back out from these projects. The federal government does not also take any concrete steps to deal with these issues despite pressures from the donor agencies. However, what is required is the federal government passing relevant legislations which lower its dependence on state governments and update the land titles in tribal and forest areas. Further, greater monitoring is required on the civil services in order to ensure their cooperation in approving mega energy infrastructure projects in the country. To address these challenges, India has taken various measures such as launching renewable energy initiatives, enhancing domestic oil and gas production, and promoting energy efficiency programs. However, achieving true energy security will require sustained effort, long-term planning, and a balanced approach that considers economic, environmental, and geopolitical factors. Additionally, international cooperation and partnership can play a vital role in enhancing India's energy security by mitigating risks associated with global energy markets. Dear students, now let's see the energy situation challenge experienced by Pakistan in last few decades. Energy security is a significant challenge for Pakistan due to various factors and issues that have persisted for several years. The country faces several challenges in ensuring a stable and reliable energy supply. Number one, if you have a look at the shortage of energy resources. Pakistan lacks sufficient domestic energy resources to meet its growing energy demands. The country heavily relies on imported fossil fuels such as oil and natural gas, which makes it vulnerable to supply disruption and price fluctuations in the global energy market. Similarly, there is a mix imbalance. Pakistan's energy mix is heavily skewed towards fossil fuels, particularly natural gas and oil. This over-reliance on a single source of energy makes the country vulnerable to price volatility and supply disruption. There is a need to diversify energy mix by investing in renewable energy sources like wind, solar and hydropower. Similarly, there is a problem of infrastructure and transmission constraints. Pakistan's energy infrastructure is outdated and inadequate, leading to significant transmission and distribution losses. These losses contribute to energy shortage and increased costs. Upgrading and expanding the energy infrastructure is essential to improve energy security. Apart from this, there is also the circular debt. The circular debt issue in Pakistan's energy sector is a major impediment to energy security. It results from inefficiencies in energy production, distribution and collection of revenue. There is also lack of investment in renewable energy sources. While Pakistan has significant potential for renewable energy generation such as solar and wind power, there has been insufficient investment in these sources. Developing renewable energy capacity can reduce reliance on fossil fuels and enhance the energy security. Similarly, the geopolitical factors play a part in Pakistan. Pakistan's energy security is influenced by regional geopolitics, especially its relationship with neighboring countries. Disputes over energy resources such as water sharing with India can impact the availability of water for hydropower generation. In Pakistan, the provincial energy offices with legal and institutional responsibilities have caused problems in the development of hydropower projects in various provinces of the country. For example, when the National Electric Power Regulatory Authority was created for regulation of the power sector, each province demanded its own representative on the commission, which created a major problem in the making of organization operational. Further, the dispute between the federal government and state government of Sindh province regarding who is responsible for enforcing the rules and regulation for the development of coal in the Thar coal deposit has also caused problems in the entire project. Further, insurgency in Balochistan due to lack of governance in the region has also failed the government plans to develop various mineral resources in the region. The government needs to have a sound energy plan and legislation to ensure cooperation of all stakeholders in the country. A lack of vision and coordination among various government agencies is also responsible for Pakistan not being able to deal with its chronic energy shortages. To address these challenges and enhance energy security, Pakistan must prioritize investment in renewable energy sources, improve energy infrastructure, reduce transmission losses, and implement policies that encourage a diverse and resilient energy mix. Additionally, addressing circular debt and ensuring political stability in the energy sector are essential steps towards a more secure and sustainable energy future for the country. Dear students, let's have a look now on the problem of energy security in other South Asian countries. Apart from India and Pakistan, other South Asian countries have significant challenge to ensure their energy security. However, it's possible to face these challenges if there is a greater cooperation among all the countries in the region. Almost all the countries have domestic challenges that need to be addressed before they can reap the benefits of energy security through cooperation. For example, Bangladesh has an energy plan which the government finds difficult to implement due to lack of coordination among the various agencies of the government. When the country had abundant supply of gas, it was confused whether it should go ahead with its policy of saving the gas for the future or export it to the neighboring countries. The lack of policy making has resulted in Bangladesh currently suffering from energy supply crunch. The government had also started numerous energy projects like importing LNG and LPG, building nuclear and coal-powered plants, and also quick rental power plants to solve load shedding in the country. All these numerous projects have resulted in the country not being able to maximize its energy efficiency, resulting in energy insecurity. The Bangladeshi policymakers also need to ensure that all energy projects go through a thorough environmental impact assessment before they are approved. The building of a coal-powered power plant near the Sundarbans and the Rupa nuclear power plant, despite serious reservations from the environmentalists and UN agencies, is a prime example of government not paying attention to the environment and the red tape. The government needs to also ensure the experience and financial viability of private companies being allowed to build private power plants. A clear energy policy with emphasis on environment with a focus on specific fuel mix will improve the energy security of the country. Nepal's and Bhutan's dependence on hydroelectricity has also led to lack of energy security of both the countries. Although Nepal wants to diversify to other fuel mix, the government does not have any energy policy in place to deal with the supply of crunch facing the country. Moreover, the political problems within country have led to insufficient investment in energy infrastructure of the country. The government needs to formulate an energy plan for next few decades, promote investment from other countries, and ensure greater access to energy resources in order to ensure the energy security. Similarly, if you look at Bhutan, Bhutan, on the other hand, is self-sufficient in terms of energy, but its total dependence on hydropower does not enhance its energy security. The recent Chinese investment in the country is a positive development as it will be able to diversify its energy investment. However, the government needs a concrete energy policy in order to ensure that current energy surplus could be used for future energy development in the country. Dear students, after looking at the challenge of energy security in South Asian countries, now let's have a look on what is the way forward. The lack of proper tariff structure in all the South Asian countries is also one of the major causes of lack of energy security. Since all the South Asian governments heavily subsidize the cost of energy in their countries, no tariff structure has been developed in these countries. Tariff structure includes a flat rate tariff, volumetric tariff and multi-part tariff. A flat rate tariff is a single tariff applicable to all based on actual power used. Volumetric tariff is based on actual metered consumption, while multi-part tariffs include two-part tariffs, where users pay by both a monthly fee for access and usage and optional tariffs where consumers are offered a menu of pricing plans. Further, an effective structure requires taking into account the financial viability, cost effectiveness, efficiency and social acceptability. However, all these are missing when the countries of region are fixing their tariff structure. Internal politics in the individual countries is also responsible for a lack of cooperation among South Asian countries. For example, in Bangladesh, the political situation is extremely partisan, with two main political parties divided between Bangladesh Awami League being close to India and Bangladesh Nationalist Party being perceived as anti-Indian. Politicians from both two parties blame each other whenever something goes wrong, resulting in policymakers being wary in taking rational energy-related decisions. There is lack of political will in countries like India, Pakistan and Bangladesh to ensure greater understanding and cooperation in regard to energy security of all these countries. As a result, all these countries in South Asia need to sort out their internal political conflicts in order to deal with their energy supply issue. Moreover, the region needs a better governance of the power and energy sector in order to improve their energy security. Most of the countries like Bangladesh, Pakistan and to some extent India have corruption plaguing the energy sector, resulting in the lack of synergy policy. Another important aspect that needs to be dealt by the South Asian countries is the better management structure of state-owned enterprises. The involvement of private sector, both local and foreign, in all the segments of the power and energy value chain could also increase the competitiveness of state-owned enterprises, which in turn could improve the energy security of the region. Further, all the countries also need to explore and exploit their own primary fuel for the creation of balanced fuel mix. Most of the countries are not exploiting their own energy resources properly due to their reliance on imported fuel mix. This not only puts pressure on their economy like in Pakistan and Bangladesh, but is also worrying for their energy security. As a result, a greater focus and exploration and exploitation by all these countries is required in order to deal with their supply crunch. However, all these solutions which we discussed for greater energy security in South Asia are not possible without considering the geopolitics of the region. The geopolitical situation in the region is extremely delicate, with both India and Pakistan being ready for war at any time. Moreover, the increasing involvement of China as an investor has caused suspicion. Further, the recent border skirmish between India and China can also destabilize the region. As a result, the solution lies with the South Asian countries themselves. All the countries need to cooperate with each other and stand on a common platform like the SAARC to improve each other's energy security. The current mistrust and suspicion between South Asian countries can be resolved through confidence building measures and energy diplomacy. This could be in the form of electricity grids and connectivity between various South Asian countries. Dear students, in today's lecture, we discuss the concept of energy security as a multidimensional in character and attempted to examine the case of South Asia. By providing overview of energy scenario in South Asia, we also discuss some of the pressing challenges that all the South Asian countries face in terms of security. We also deliberated some of the important steps that South Asian countries need to take to overcome these challenges. Now I would like to conclude the lecture with some of the important points. The South Asian countries can ensure their energy security if there is, first, political perseverance to ensure cooperation. Number second, domestic leadership building consensus among the people. Number third, positive engagement with other regional powers. And number fourth, effective communication with the people of South Asia about the benefits of cooperation. However, the fact remains, those regional relationships that have been shaped for countries cannot be changed overnight. As a result, although a greater cooperation among South Asian countries is the only way forward for energy security, the question remains whether the South Asian citizens and their respective governments are ready for such leap of faith in order for their future generations to survive. So dear students, that was all about today's lecture. Hope you learned and enjoyed the lecture. Thank you.